Hello and welcome. I'm Jess Campmans, guided by Equus, and I'm here with your Horse Wisdom Insights for the week of April 26th. That was Fancy beside me. And her and I had been doing quite a bit of back and forth for the last couple minutes. And she just moved herself out of the space just for a moment here, but hopefully she'll bring herself back in, because it felt like there was something really, well, she kept stepping towards me as I went deeper and deeper into this message in my relationship with her that has been becoming more and more apparent over these last couple of weeks in relationship to this full moon, this Scorpio full moon that is coming between tonight and tomorrow, wherever you live on the earth, which is all about the acknowledgement of that which is deep and dark within us, that we hide from the light of day, or we hide even from ourselves, from other people, but the horses can't. No, we can't hide it from the horses. And so, just to give you a bit of a background, and then I'll kind of bring this forward into the Horse Wisdom Insights for the week. My relationship with Fancy when I got her in 2014 was very, I'll share what I experienced with her. What I witnessed was a very dissociative horse who was running the fence line while the herd, stood in the same pen with her, looking for a way out and just being so uncomfortable in her body that you could just see that. And along the way, through the last number of years, every time I try and go into her space to show her or to help build this relationship with her, and there's been many incredible experiences with her along the way, but there was this sense of violation that I always perceived from her. And I've had many kind of shamanic journeys with her where I sensed this kind of abandonment and violation, and then at the same time a sense of protection. I'm going back into all of these things that I've experienced with her. A sense of protection, a very big protective field around her energy field. And what I witnessed was kids often could come into her space and they would reach out and touch her, and she would be good with that. But if I tried to do that, I got ears pinned back at me and told to stay away. In all of my relationships with my horses, they're for my own personal growth first and foremost. Just like I believe every one of us, that is it. Even if we're doing this outside of ourselves, these animals are here for us first and foremost. Because as we do this work for ourselves, we're actually doing it for everyone, all of the other animals and all of the other humans that we are in relationship with in our life, which, bringing back to the interconnectedness of all, it brings it kind of all back around full circle. So that which we do for ourselves is that which we do for everyone. So to kind of wrap this up, sorry Falcon, over the last little bit in wanting to move beyond this, and Fancy, I didn't realize she was pregnant till about a month ago, but since realizing that, and she's very close, but yesterday and today it just feels like still awaiting. There's a recognition that needs to happen on part of my behalf in order for this baby to be released into the world. And funny how it's felt like that over the last couple of years with all of the foals that have arrived. But this with her is, I guess I'll kind of bring it to that idea of, it's not even an idea, but it's the best word I have, the invitation. And so in allowing them to find us, instead of us always going to them and reaching out, and they have to be okay with it, because we need them to be this for us. That relationship, that paradigm is no longer working for me, and it's kind of collapsing in and around the world, because that means then that we are not responsible. We get to negate our responsibility of the choices and the actions that we take in relationship to another. And whatever it is that we are in relationship to another with, that's our relationship with ourselves. So a lot of this that has been coming up for me in relationship to this full moon is about the negation of honoring the invitation. And so when the horses, and Fancy just licked and chewed on that, when we give space and invite the horses in, allowing them to have a voice and say yes or no, and we don't automatically decide that they have to support us. And I know if you're watching this video, most of you are probably beyond this relationship, which I kind of thought I was. But again, these really deep, dark things that we hold inside of us that we've actually kind of forgotten about or had a reason to put them down there so that nobody else could see this way of being in the world that still exists within us. That's what's coming up. It's those really hard conversations, those uncomfortable things, those uncomfortable truths. And is this my way of being? I don't believe so. But it's still, I still kind of operate through an automatic learned response in relationship to that. And part of the reason why I got off the horses, stopped riding and got on the ground, was to find out who I really am and who I really want to be. But in order to do that, we have to let go of all of those old ways of being. And if it would be as easy as just saying, well, I let go of them, there they go. That's not that easy. It has to come from this place of rising up within us so that we recognize it, and then we're able to realize why, not even necessarily why, but that it's there, and come to a point of reestablishing our foundation in the world without needing that, because it actually takes a lot of energy to keep that thing buried deep inside within us. And this is the journey of life. This is the journey of us as a soul experiencing life, and becoming more conscious through the things that challenge us and that rise up, that confront us, or that we really don't want to face. We would rather just avoid or turn away from, or stuff back down there. And yet, it's the most important things we will ever do here. Because what I witnessed over this past weekend in the Healing with Horse Symposium was so many people embodying the thing that brings them the most joy in the world, and to see the responses of others in relationship to that fulfilling sense of purpose. And it's all of these things that we hide away deep within us that keep us from that purpose. We don't need someone else to tell us how to do this. We innately and instinctively and intrinsically know how to do that thing that brings us joy. But it's all of these learned responses, or things we're ashamed of, or we won't let move through us because we're terrified of someone else witnessing us as that. That's the stuff that we have to let move up through us. And so I'm sharing my relationship with Fancy in relationship to this Scorpio full moon, because Scorpio is the deep, dark secrets and truths. Like, it's the gold in those secrets that we can't access until we let those secrets rise to the surface. So I hope that gives you more than something to think about this week. And it feels too like this will be the energy of the week. It's almost a bouncing back, a reflecting of old things and new things, and trying to find yourself somewhere between them. It's like that liminal space in between. And Magic's just moved forward off the fence to come and partake in this, I feel. But I guess the magic in that is just letting ourselves be in this liminal space. Because I could witness it in Fancy's eyes, and it wasn't about having this baby necessarily, but it's about how much it takes to hold on to these old ways that really energetically drains us from our life force. And so if we take that time in that space and let whatever arises move forward off the fence like magic and come into the middle, come into the circle with us, and we hold ourselves in that space of allowing ourselves to witness that very thing that we were trying to protect ourselves from, so we don't have to experience it again. We have to let it, and as we do that, it enables all of these things that we find that we're not able to do, like find our voice, stand strong in our truth, share who we really are. Because when we're not having to take all of our energy to keep those things down and from anybody else seeing them, we're kind of free. We set ourselves free. So this was a long story, but to bring it back to kind of the main point, and I'm excited for Fancy and her foal, and for my relationship, that it gets to maybe blossom from here on in, because this is a doorway this week. May is it's the 5th month of this universal 5 year, and it's actually a one universal month, so it's the beginning of something new, and it's my birthday month, so it's always my favorite. And it feels like, well, April's kind of spring here. May is like when the green comes out, that rich green color, and everything just kind of starts to erupt in living force. And so this week, just letting yourself take some space to do whatever it is that really you feel that you need to honor yourself for. And for me, that really looks like honoring what Fancy's been supporting me through by standing strong to continue to show me these things so that I have this breakthrough. Because without her and a handful of other horses that have really been prominent in trying to provide this message for me in multiple ways. But again, if you believe in divine timing, that we have to go through what we go through in order to have those breakthroughs. And so in order to have them, I don't regret anything that I've been through in my past, because it's brought me to here, and it's given me the gifts of having this experience over here, so I can hopefully, move through to over here. And so this week, bringing it back once again and anchoring this, is just really almost this practice of every morning when you get up, give yourself 5 minutes and just stand there and stand strong, and almost start to kind of balance yourself on the not the balls of your feet, but find your feet in relationship to grounding yourself very first thing in the morning. And if you bring your focus to your legs and to the awareness that your legs have as either feeling really strong or not feeling really strong, the more you begin to notice within your body how you are in relationship to being able to move back and forth, from past to future. That's where we find ourselves, is in the present. And so almost this week, and I would love to hear if you guys do this and what kind of comes through for you. And hopefully this baby that will come through this week will be a representation of moving beyond into the next level of relationship. So much love for myself and Fancy, and everybody else is just kind of hanging out. So I look forward to seeing and sharing the space and month of May, and whoever else hopefully is with us by then. Take care. The part I forgot to mention was that everything that I tuned into Fancy and sensed or felt the dissociation, the feeling uncomfortable in her body, the needing to look for an escape, the boundary violation, all of those things were my experience of myself. And so anybody that's watching this already probably knows this, but this relationship that we have with our horses is a reflection of who we are and we can't see. And underneath those things, inside of those things, actually even better than underneath, when we recognize them within us, and we don't have to hold on to them anymore. We can let them go, and in the letting go of them, we find the core of what we're getting back to, which again is really and truly just us being ourselves. So I'll end that there. One more small piece, it feels like. This is Raven. And Raven Spirit is all about the magic, the truth. And so I feel like magic stepping forward off the fence and Raven now being part of this, that word magic, because that magic plays into our life through those dark aspects when we see them and allow ourselves to be with them. So just taking a breath on that, and again, just giving yourself some space this week to be able to be in whatever experience you're in without judgment and with a lot of compassion. And if you need support, and here's magic again, if you find yourself needing support, the horses and I are here and willing to even just share some sort of message that might allow you to be able to move through and with it with grace. So much love for myself and these guys all. And Raven just went to lay down.